Good evening. A former Waterloo Regional Police officer has been sentenced to 18 months behind bars after being convicted of possessing child sexual abuse and exploitation material. CTV's Krista Simpson reports.
In November 2022, a search warrant was executed at the Exeter home of Matthew Kennedy. At the time, the 37-year-old was a Waterloo Regional Police constable, but had been suspended since 2020 for declining to get a COVID-19 vaccine. Police seized a phone and laptop, uncovering nearly 300 images of child sexual abuse and exploitation material, previously called child pornography. The images depicted real children being horrifically abused, Justice Heather Palin told the court, and particularly problematic given Kennedy's employment. Mr. Kennedy, as a trained and sworn police officer, breached the wider public trust in a very real way when he accessed and possessed child abuse and exploitation materials. The public is entitled to expect police officers, even those who may be on leave, to uphold the law and guard against the abuse and exploitation of children, society's most vulnerable group. Kennedy resigned from Regional Police in November 2023 and has been working as a delivery driver. The judge said she believes Kennedy has a sincere desire to address his behavior and decision-making, noting he's gone through extensive counseling and has expressed remorse. Kennedy was sentenced to 18 months in jail, followed by 2 years probation. Still, the judge said, "In my view, Mr. Kennedy continues to pose a serious risk to young children, particularly through the use of technology, putting conditions on him for 20 years that he isn't to work or volunteer in any capacity that involves being in a position of trust or authority of children." He also has a number of conditions restricting his use of the internet and digital networks, including that he cannot be on social media.
Krista Simpson, CTV News.
An emotional send-off for a fallen officer. Hundreds packed the Mississauga Sports and Entertainment Centre today for the funeral of OPP Constable Tarun Bali. The 29-year-old who was killed in the line of duty last week was remembered for his selflessness and courage. CTV's Beth McDonnell was there and has this report.
Killed in the line of duty, OPP Constable Tarun Bali will be greatly missed. His police funeral, a powerful and solemn goodbye.
Tarun had a gift for making people feel valued, including myself. He showed up when people needed him. He listened without judgment. He gave his time and his energy and his heart freely to everyone.
His family says whether people knew him for a short time or a long time, he left an impression.
And that is why this loss feels so immense.
Bali, just 29 years old, had a dream of being a police officer, a dream cut short when last week, working in Northern Ontario, he was struck by a vehicle and killed.
Although you were viciously taken from us with malice and hate, you showed us all how to live with pride, courage, honor, and above all else, love.
I know this loss is being felt far and wide. From the neighborhood in Brampton, where Provincial Constable Bali grew up, to Kitchener, where he got his first start in law enforcement, and the OPP family he has today. Ontario's brave men and women in uniform never know what challenges they'll face when they step out of their front door.
Prior to the service, a long procession made its way to the Mississauga Sports and Entertainment Centre where the funeral was held. In a show of support and solidarity, police officers lined the streets in torrential rain before coming together inside to wish their colleague a final farewell.
Losing a son is a pain that is impossible to put into words. But if there is one message I would like to leave with everyone today, it is this: please, please and humbly I will say, everybody, respect this profession and hold it in the highest regard.
Bali worked at 11 detachments over the course of his career. He's described as an officer who exemplified courage. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Waterloo Region's development freeze is starting to thaw. Regional Council narrowly approved a plan late last night to get more water flowing for developments this fall, while they keep working on ways to find enough capacity for the future. Here's CTV's Jeff Pickle.
It's been months of frustration and anxiety for developers in Waterloo Region.
People do not need another reassurance that this is being looked at. They need to see action and investment that matches the scale of what they're facing.
Last night at Regional Council, a glimmer of hope as Council voted to move ahead with a plan to allow a limited number of development approvals to move ahead starting in October.
The goal here really is to try to move forward with what all of us have been speaking about for some time, but do it in a thoughtful way.
According to a staff report, the region has eked out 20 liters per second it can devote to new approvals.
First and foremost, I really want to recognize that progress has been made.
For developers like Joseph Pupolo, this is a good first step.
The most important thing was a clear, definitive timeline to when to start to release capacity, and it's clear that that is going to be coming in Q3 of this year to the tune of roughly 20 liters per second.
According to Pupolo, the move an important signal to the community.
It's the beginning of demonstrating that we're going to be able to open up as an industry. It's a first step. It's not a destination.
Regional Councillor Jim Erb is in favor of the plan.
The sole purpose of this recommendation is to bring some stability to the water system.
Erb says it's a delicate balance and one they need to get right.
I think one of the things that we want to make sure of that we don't overcommit ourselves at the end of the day, we find ourselves not being able to deliver.
Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
At that same council meeting, some tense moments as protesters stormed the council chambers, trying to make a point about the encampment in downtown Kitchener. CTV's Heather Senerin has that story.
And who may be behind me.
A disruption in the middle of a Region of Waterloo council meeting.
We're going to take a 15-minute recess.
A group of protesters march into council chambers while the chief of Waterloo Regional Police is making a presentation, leaving some councillors shaken.
It's quite startling, and I think the other aspect of it all is how frightening it is for people in the audience and for our staff who are on the main floor area where these people were yelling and screaming.
The live feed was paused, and police, who were already there for the presentation, say they assisted in escorting the protesters out of council chambers. The protest started outside, according to one of the participants, including a member of the group Fight Back KW. They say there were one of about 8.
It was a very spur-of-the-moment decision to move inside. The rationale behind it was that if council isn't going to listen to us, then we're going to make them hear us.
The protester says they were upset about the region's decision to appeal a court ruling that would prevent homeless people from being removed from a Kitchener encampment.
If council won't give unhoused people peace, we won't give them peace.
Some councillors say it was wrong to protest during a meeting.
We know that there's been instances with elected officials, threats or following or, just abuse in some sort of way. And yesterday was an example of just, how heated things can be.
The region saying in a statement, in part, public participation and differing perspectives are an important part of a healthy democracy, and council chambers is a place where important community issues are discussed openly. At the same time, it is important that all participants, members of the public, and staff are able to engage in these proceedings safely and respectfully. The region did not specify if security will be amped up for future meetings.
I don't want this to be we deny access. This is a democratic institution. People should have access, but the reality is that we need to look at what that means and ensuring safety for everybody in these spaces going forward.
Meantime, protesters stand firm.
It's uncomfortable to be told you're wrong. It's uncomfortable to be faced with the consequences of your actions, and that's what we see this as.
Some say take your concerns to the polls.
If you're upset about council and decisions we make on any issue, there's an election coming up in October, and they have an opportunity to do something about their viewpoint.
Heather Senerin, CTV News, Kitchener.
Well, if you were in or around the Sports World area of Kitchener earlier this afternoon, you may have spent a few hours in the dark. A hit and run at King Street East and Sports World Drive plunged more than 1,000 Innova Power customers into a power outage and created traffic backlogs during a busy rush. Regional police say a vehicle hit a hydro wire and a hydro pole had to be replaced. No injuries were reported, but police are now searching for the driver involved in the crash. A historic and triumphant win for Team Canada in the FIFA World Cup tonight. The senior men's team shutting out Qatar with a 6-0 victory in Vancouver. And closer to home, hundreds of fans flocked to downtown Kitchener and Cambridge to watch the big game on the big screen and celebrate the big win. CTV's Karis Mapp was at one of those watch parties tonight and joins us now live. Now, Karis, it may not have been the most ideal weather for an outdoor viewing tonight, but that didn't stop fans from showing up.
Alexandra, the fans I spoke with at the Kitchener Market watch party told me they were thankful the rain held off, but nothing would have stopped them from being there to take in the historic game. Hundreds of people packed the patio at the Kitchener Market to watch Canada take on Qatar.
I think everybody should just come out and have fun because it's free.
When you're at home, it's like cool, you know, but the energy isn't really there. When you come out in the community and you have all these supporters around you as well, you get more fired up, and then the energy is amazing.
The energy spreading across Waterloo Region, with fans also filling the Gaslight District to take in the action. And there was much to celebrate.
That's like a dream, you know, because it's the first time for us to host the World Cup, the first time for us to get like 4 points, and now we're going ahead. Canada's
6-0 victory marking a historic milestone.
It's like Canada's one of Canada's first wins, so we gotta like celebrate this moment. We're coming to the round of 32, let's go!
This is the first ever in history Canada winning the game World Cup. So we are really happy for that. We are really hope to go ahead, and we're gonna go for second part, you know.
Up next, they'll take on Switzerland, who they're currently tied for first with in their group.
Hopefully they can get out the group stage and you know, make some shocks in the round of 32 and round of 16. But yeah, it's a promising run.
Canada's next game is Wednesday the 24th. Both the Kitchener Market and Gaslight District will once again be showing the matchup on their big screens. Alexandra.
All right, Karis, thanks so much for this. And taking a look at the final scoreboard for today with teams from Group A and B, a draw between Czechia and South Africa at 1 each. Then Switzerland went on to beat Bosnia and Herzegovina to 4-1, while the game between Mexico and South Korea just wrapped up with a 1-0 win for Mexico. So what does this all mean? Well, Canada is now at the top of Group B, but this round isn't over just yet. They still have to play Switzerland on June 24th. Now, a draw between the two teams would send both of them through to the knockout round automatically. However, Bosnia and Qatar still have a chance to advance, either by finishing second or as one of the 8 best third-place teams. And you can watch all the action right here on CTV and on TSN. Well, if you've tried to drop off your old tires but were told you couldn't, you're not alone.
Right now, they're just piling up. We're running out of places to put them.
Coming up, CTV's Colton Weens will have more on the tire problem that's piling up across the province and closer to home. First, taking a look at our satellite radar. Now, depending on where you are, you may see a spotted shower or two, but mostly just some cloud coverage over southwestern Ontario tonight. And with that cloud coverage comes some cooler temperatures. We're sitting at 15 degrees right now in Kitchener-Waterloo, much of the same across southwestern Ontario. And taking a look outside from earlier this evening, wind and storm clouds continue to roll through the region tonight. Stay with us. CTV News continues in 2 minutes. Ontario's problem with piling up tires is hitting close to home tonight. Wellington County is running out of places to put them and may stop taking them at its landfills. And as CTV's Colton Weens tells us, the problem doesn't stop there.
It's a big pile that just keeps on growing at Wellington County landfills. Old tires set for recycling, just not being picked up. A situation that's also familiar to this Waterloo auto shop.
And now it's completely full. So we have twice the amount of tires that we normally have on hand when the recyclers would show up.
Jim Voigt at Columbia Auto Group says ever since the 1990 Hagersville tire fire and new rules mandating tire collection for recycling, it's clear to him the system has become strained. He says it's gotten worse since Ontario slashed its tire recycling goals from 85 to 65%.
The whole system has shut down. You know, we used to, pile up 200 used tires and call the recycler, and they'd come by and pick them up and take them away, and everybody was happy. But over the last number of months, the tire recyclers have no ability to pick them up. People won't take them.
They usually have all these tires taken away once they're piled up under the trailer, but they're having trouble getting them picked up. They're piled under another trailer as well, and the other two locations of Columbia and Waterloo are also struggling to get rid of the tires.
The Ford government has slashed the whole program to the point where they don't have a place to put them in the program.
Over in Wellington County, they're considering temporarily halting the collection of tires at its landfills. Even after loading excess tires into 40-yard roll-off bins, they're running out of space. They say registered haulers just aren't coming to pick them up. They've even heard stories about residents being paid by mechanics to drop off tires. County staff say until something gives with the province, drop-off pause may be the only solution. Council will vote on the idea next Thursday.
Almost every shop owner I speak to in Ontario is in the same position.
Back at the auto shop, Voigt says he's reached out to the province but hasn't gotten much of a response.
Oh, everyone's still paying the fee, but nothing's being recycled anymore.
The province has been consulting on proposed changes that would, among other things, require agencies to pick up tires from any site with more than 50 of them within a specified response time. Colton Weens, CTV News.
Students from a Waterloo elementary school got the chance to trade today's schoolwork for a ride around the block.
That's dangerous! Dangerous! Dangerous!
Lincoln Heights Public School is one of two schools taking part in the Cycling Smarts pilot program geared to 5th grade students learning how to ride and maintain a bike. The free program from the City of Waterloo and the Working Center included lessons on tire repairs, signaling, road safety, and more practice on city paths. City officials say the program will come to more schools next year with hopes of being board-wide further down the road. Still to come on CTV News, a critical surgery for a months-old kitten. How much money the local Humane Society is hoping to raise to help give Reginald a pain-free life.
After heavy rain, strong winds, and thunder showers, it looks like we'll be ending the week on a much calmer note. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
You're taking a look at the time-lapse shot just outside our studios in the Kitchener Sports World area of the beautiful sunset coming through, all those clouds. You can almost see the sun just peeking out there, and it really was a beautiful day, and hopefully things are going to calm down as we get into the weekend here. But let's check in with Leanne to see what we can expect.
Hope everyone enjoyed their Thursday. It looks like we are ending spring on a little bit of a tumultuous note. We did see some heavy bursts of rainfall at times throughout the morning and afternoon hours, depending where you're joining us from. You may have saw a thunder shower as well, and the winds were quite gusty out there through most of the afternoon hours. This system that we saw over the past 24 hours or so continues to push its way east. We're looking at mostly clear conditions into the overnight hours. Friday morning when you're waking up, likely going to see some cloud cover continue to build, that increasing cloud cover leading to a little bit of precipitation. It does look like it will stay south of KW for the most part. If you're joining us from the Brantford area through to Port Stanley in towards Chatham-Kent, may notice a little bit of a passing shower or two as we get into Friday afternoon. Things clear up. While we do have the chance of a passing shower Saturday, things will be mostly dry. We'll likely see some peaks of sunshine and a little bit of cloud cover as well. Overall, looking at only about 1 to 2 millimeters of localized rainfall over the next 24 to 48 hours. Today in Waterloo Region, our daytime high didn't reach quite as what was expected. We did only get up to 19 degrees. Normal for this time of year is 24. So we were looking at a daytime high of about 21. But I think due to those wind gusts, we didn't didn't quite reach that through the afternoon hours. Overnight tonight, dropping to a low of 11. Again, that chance for a passing shower. Increasing cloud cover as we get into the day tomorrow, looking at a daytime high of 21 degrees. And as we take a look at what's in store for the long range, that chance for a passing shower lingers through Saturday as well, with a daytime high of 22 degrees. Sunday, the first official full day of summer. We're looking at plenty of sunshine, daytime high of 24, overnight low on seasonal average as well. Monday, we are expecting to see some rain throughout the day before another stretch of sunny conditions through the rest of next week. In the Windsor area, you are looking at the similar forecast for the next couple of days. Chance of some passing shower activity through Friday, Saturday. Summer welcoming that on Sunday with a daytime high of 25 degrees, overnight low of 15, and plenty of sunshine before, again, that next round of rainfall moves in on Monday. And in southern Georgian Bay, temperatures for the overnight lows a little bit on the cooler side of things, looking at single digits over the next few days. But summer, again, Sunday, beautiful conditions, sunny with a high of 22.
All right, Leanne, thank you for this. The Humane Society of Kitchener-Waterloo and Stratford-Perth is looking to raise some funds for a kitten who needs both his eyes removed. 8-week-old Reginald came to the Stratford-Perth Animal Centre last month as a stray after he was found in the gravel at the side of a road. His right eye had ruptured and he had almost no vision in his left eye. To make sure Reginald gets to live a pain-free life, veterinarians are recommending surgery to remove both his eyes. But that care comes with a cost, so the Humane Society is hoping to raise $7,500. The operation is scheduled for the end of this month, and details on how to donate can be found over on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. After the break, putting a pin in a beloved bowling alley's closure. CTV's Spencer Turcott will show us what's next for AMF Frederick Lanes. Finally for us, a surprise purchase has spared a Kitchener bowling alley from closing. AMF Frederick Lanes announced it would shut its doors for good in May. And as CTV's Spencer Turcott tells us, a pair of the alley's most dedicated bowlers took a shot that few saw coming.
The echo of bowling balls crashing through the pins of this Kitchener bowling alley has faded, but that will soon change.
Planning on doing some painting design.
In late April, word spread that AMF Frederick Lanes would be closed by its U.S. parent company in May. Heartbroken bowlers came forward expressing how big of a loss that would be, even launching a petition to save the alley.
We were given so little notice that, yeah, it did not feel good. So it was sort of like a shared sentiment with the bowling community, was just that it was devastating.
Then two of the alley's biggest fans made a bold move after it became clear this place was too important to lose.
For Cassandra and I, almost like this motivational rage of something.
Yeah, it's like an injustice.
They went from bowlers to business owners by throwing a lifeline and striking a deal to revive Frederick Lanes.
Frederick Lanes is coming back, and we're super excited.
After Town Bowl closed in 2023, many feared this could be another hit against the sport locally. Instead, a community hub comeback for local league legends and bowling beginners.
We're hoping to keep it quite affordable and really consider the cost that it would be for a family of so many to come in.
The new owners say there's still plenty of work ahead, and while they don't have an exact reopening date pinned down,
I would like to have this place open this summer. We want to be open hopefully mid-July.
As they work to keep the customers rolling in, the pair are learning the business side of the game.
There's so many things in this facility that are way above my pay grade. Everyone who was working here before this whole thing happened, that each of them know way more than I do about everything that goes on here, and so many of them I'm hiring back.
But the hard work is well worth it, they say, because this was never about saving a building. It was about preserving a community, one that refused to let Frederick Lanes end up in the gutter. Spencer Turcott, CTV News Kitchener.
That's some great news for the community there. That's our time. Thank you for checking in and staying up with us. I'm Alexandra Hollick. Have a good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.